Welcome to Patty's Aquatics. Now in today's video, I want to talk about a food source I have grossly overlooked the entire time in this hobby. It's one that I have found to be super easy and not that expensive. That's baby brine shrimp. So I've been in this hobby for nearly 30 years, and I'd have to say that I had never used baby brine shrimp ever up to about last week. You know, I knew about the food. I always knew it was a good food to be able to feed fish for trying to breed fish, to condition them for the baby fish. I just always thought it was more complicated than I really wanted to deal with and could be possibly more expensive. I know I've looked it up numerous times, like the hatcheries are almost like $50 and you got to buy the eggs and you got to buy the salt, have extra air pumps and air hoses, possibly heaters and all that stuff that goes along with it. And I just thought, you know what? I have dry foods, my flake foods, and the other foods that I feed, and it works out just fine. Well, that changed the other week. I finally decided to pull the trigger. I had a gift card for Aquarium Co-op from Christmas, and I went and bought myself a tin of their brine shrimp eggs. So I said I wanted to try it. I want to see just how easy it really is. And I'd have to say it's a lot easier than I thought it would be. So to start off, it really is just as easy as having eggs, a little bit of old aquarium salt that I had sitting around for years, and a jar or a bottle. You know, I started off with just using a bottle. I stuck a cap on it, I drilled the hole through it and put an air line through it, filled it with water, and then put some salt in and some eggs, and within a day and a half, boom, this thing was just packed full of baby brine shrimp. So I'm not going to sit here and try to give you some big DIY build on how I put together a baby brine shrimp hatchery, because there are probably thousands of them on YouTube. I don't have anything elaborate. What I'm doing is just using a jar right now, and it's working. That's how easy it is. All you need to do is have an air line into whatever container you're using and give it time, and you're going to have baby brine shrimp. So I know there's probably a vast majority of you that are watching this have probably used baby brine shrimp already or currently are. Just want to say, for those of you that may be watching this that have never used it before, I mean, absolutely try it. It is so easy and it's such a great food source. It's so easy. Like I said, the first batch I ever did was in this bottle right here. This is 16.9 fluid ounces, which equals half of a liter. Now, according to the Aquarium Co-op directions, it's 1 liter of water. You would put in a tablespoon of salt. So half a liter, it was half a tablespoon of salt. Broke it down real easy, filled it up with tap water, put in a little bit of eggs, put it in an air line, and I set it on my desk with an air pump and let it. But there's other ways to do it too. Maybe the area you're trying to hatch them in just isn't warm enough, or maybe you don't have enough space. Well, here's another easy solution that I've seen. Just take your bottle that you have all set up with baby brine shrimp in your air hose, lift up your cover, stick it in your tank and let it sit up atop. The heat from the tank will keep that bottle within that whatever range you have it at, which I'm assuming is anywhere in the 70s to almost 80. And you'll have baby brine shrimp probably within a day, day and a half. It's that easy. So not only are baby brine shrimp easy to hatch, they're also affordable. Like I said, that tin of baby brine shrimp that I got from Aquarium Co-op was probably about $22. Now, if you go to a fish store to be able to get, like, say, a container of flake food, it's going to be about the same price. So all you need to buy yet then is salt. Like I said, I had it laying around, but salt can't be that expensive. Now, beyond that, airline and air pump. That's all you need besides a container. You know, that container, like I said, too, is anything around the house. You could have a water bottle, a jar, any type of container that's going to work for the area you're trying to hatch it in. It's as easy as that, and it's as affordable as that. It's no more expensive than trying to buy a container of fish food at the fish store. I'll show you briefly how I'm hatching my eggs. This will be only my 3rd time doing it, so please feel free to leave in the comments any suggestions, any tips or tricks to help anybody out there new getting into baby brine shrimp. It'd be greatly appreciated. So let's show you what I did quick. Like I said, it's as easy as having a few ingredients. You need a container, salt, water, eggs, and an air line. Let me mix them all together, and we'll go from there. Well, it's all mixed up and ready to go. Easy peasy. Now we just got to sit and wait about a day and a half, and this jar will be full baby brine shrimp. Well, it's been about a day and a half since I set this all up and turned the air on, and it has been highly successful, to say the least. There are eggshells floating all at the top of the water and stuck to the top of the jar, and there are thousands upon thousands of baby brine shrimp swimming around and getting pushed around by the air in the jar currently. So next step is to turn the air off and stick a light down there to attract them towards the bottom, and then I'm going to show you what I do next. So the eggs are all ready, and I put the light down here to try to attract all the baby brine shrimp to the bottom. Then I have my little setup ready. Got a jar of fresh water and a container over here with a towel, and I'll show you why. So I've got my turkey baster. What I'm going to do is go down to the bottom, suck up as many of those eggs as I can, and then I'm going to pour them into here. Now that reason being is I don't want to get all the salt water in my fish tank, so the salt water is going to drain into the little container underneath, and all the baby brine shrimp are going to catch on my towel there. So I'm going to do this a while here. Now, the first hatch I did, I used a water bottle, which I was not able to use this technique to do it. I took an air line and stuck it at the bottom, and I siphoned it out, which I didn't really care for too much, because what I did was eat a lot of those baby brine shrimp and drink salt water, which was not ideal to me. So I thought this way would be a little easier. So this is the first time attempting it this way. So we'll see what happens. Oops. So let's take a look here. I know the lighting isn't greatest because I have this up, but as you can see, there's all the baby brine shrimp now. And what I'm going to do then is, you can take it like this and just dip it into your tanks. What I wanted to try to do this time is put it in this jar. And you see they go under there, and then I can just siphon them out of here, out of the fresh water, into my tanks. So let me do this a while and get this thing filled up, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do next. So now all that's left is this empty jar of just old shells from the baby brine shrimp. And then here are all the baby brine shrimp. There are, I don't even know how many, lots of them. So it's that easy. It's easy as having eggs, salt, and an airline. Now, if you do hatch too many of them, some of the things that I have read is that you can actually pour some of these into like little ice cube makers and freeze them and make little ice cubes out of them. And then you can feed them to your fish at later dates. Now, obviously, they won't be alive anymore, but they still will have their nutritional value. So that's another thing to keep in mind. And I also read you can put some of these into the fridge to help them last like 2 to 3 days. I plan on feeding this entire jar right now to my entire fish room. So let's go around and I'll show you feeding some of them. that is just truly how easy and affordable it really is to hatch baby brine shrimp. Now, if you've never done this before, I highly recommend it. I think that to be able to have another type of food source into your arsenal is key, and it's so beneficial with breeding fish, and just fish in general love that live food, to be able to have that. So like I said, give it a try if you've never tried it before. And if you have tried it before, like I said, leave comments in the video. Let me know, how do you set yours up? Is there a different way? Is there easier ways to do it? Spread the wealth for everybody so we all can kind of learn from each other. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider hitting that subscribe button. But if you do, make sure you hit that notification bell, because you don't want to miss any of those upcoming projects. And thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time here at Pet is Aquatics.